On everybody, it's Key Time coming back with another one to talk about the NBA. A lot has happened in the NBA since the last time I talked about it. But first off, I just want to give out a notice to the Detroit Pistons. They broke the record last night for most games in a regular season that they have lost consecutively with 27. Now, Detroit last night, I watched the game, and what was so bad about that game is I put out a tweet before the game was over saying that they were going to lose, and they ended up losing. Now, that team, they playing hard. Cade Cunningham, he had 41 points, and didn't anybody else had nobody else had over 25 points. So Detroit, the Pistons, they need some help everywhere. Monty Williams, I think that he should have took a year off of coaching because this right here, it ain't looking too good. I mean, we about to start 2024. You didn't win a game all November, and it seemed like today to today to today is December 27th, and it seemed like you're not gonna win a game in December neither. So it's bad in Detroit right now, but you also got to look at one thing. Most of these players are in their second or third year, so they still got to get acclimated with this system. The players, the coaches, even the whole coaching staff got to get acclimated with Monty Williams' system. Now, Monty Williams, he came from Phoenix. They tried to he wanted to implement the system that he got from Phoenix over into Detroit. But you can't do that with a bunch of second and third year guys. So it's gonna be tough sledding. I actually heard something last night that the Detroit Pistons are out of the playoffs, and that's bad because we not even in January yet, and they already out the playoffs. So they 2-28. They probably gonna lose the next game. Hopefully they don't because this will look back. You even had the owner come out and say something, and all of the fans are saying sell the team. But but the Pistons, they've been like this for the last, I'd say, 15 years. I mean, when was the last time they made it to the playoffs and had a legitimate shot at making it to the championship? 2006, 7? So that's all I got for the Pistons right now. Hopefully they get better. Hopefully they can get on a winning streak so we can forget about this losing streak. So hopefully in the near future, the Pistons will be better. The next team I want to talk about is the Boston Celtics. Now, Boston, they've won 23 out of their first 29 games. But there is one problem that I have with their game plan. They attempt over 30 threes a game. If they ain't making the threes, they lose the game. If they making the threes, they'll win the game. You have got to find another game plan and another aspect to your system instead of just shooting threes and hoping that they go in. Because in the playoffs, if them threes ain't going in, you gonna have to go to something else, Boston. You're gonna have to start driving to the hole and getting those baskets instead of depending on the 3-point shot because that's how you lost in the playoffs last year and that is how you lost in the playoffs the year before that. So please try not to get 3-point happy, Boston. This is this is a year where the playoffs come through your building. Don't mess it up. I know we got the Bucks and then we got the 76ers we got to think about too. But the Celtics, they have the most complete team. They have the most complete team on record, on record in the Eastern Conference right now. They've been at the top of the Eastern Conference all season long. And the Milwaukee Bucks, they've been a consistent second or third. And the Philadelphia 76ers, they lost their game versus Miami. It was a close one, and Miami might as well look at them too. They fifth in the East right now. They could potentially make some noise. So those are all the teams that I have in the Western Conference. In the Eastern Conference. And plus, I forgot to mention the New York Knicks. Now, can the New York Knicks make the playoffs? Yes. Will they win a playoff series? Yes. And I do think that they can make it to the second round. They can make it to the second round. So if you listening, Stephen A., I do believe your Knicks can make it to the second round. Can they win in the second round is a whole different story. But I'm going to say that for another video. Now, and the last Eastern Conference team I want to talk about is the Orlando Magic. They have the best. This is their best record since 2010 and 11. And we all know what the Magic did in 2011. They got to the playoffs, got knocked out of the first round by the Celtics. So, is this year going to be the same? Still have a lot of season to go. We're not even at the All-Star break yet. So, from what I'm seeing right now, the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference, I believe it'll stay the same. It'll be Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and Orlando. Then it'll be everybody else. Those 4 teams, those top 4 teams, they'll stay in the top 4 all throughout the season. And that is all I have for the Eastern Conference portion of the NBA. Now I want to get to the Western Conference portion of the NBA. Now, one thing I can say is we got a couple of surprising teams in the Western Conference. We didn't expect nothing from the Minnesota Timberwolves. We didn't expect the Minnesota Timberwolves to be this good, or the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, Denver, we expected them to be up there, number 1, number 2. They at number 2 right now. They still got a good team. Just like I said, this is still early in the season. We're not even at the All-Star break. But I'm expecting the Denver Nuggets to be in the Western Conference Finals, if not win the whole thing, if not become repeat champions, because they have the team to go back and win the NBA Finals year after year after year. So, now, the two surprising teams, Minnesota Timberwolves and Oklahoma City Thunder, can they keep this up throughout the second half of the season? We will see. But as far as right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves, out of their last 10 games, they've won 7 of them and lost 3. And those 3 were by a combined 7 points. So Minnesota, they have a good team. We just need to see how they gonna fare in the playoffs when it comes down to 2 or 3 games in the playoffs that you need in order to keep your season alive. When you get to that threshold, are you able to produce? That is the one thing that I want to see with both the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the next team I want to talk about is the Sacramento Kings. They sitting at 6 right now. I believe that they are going to rise up in the standings come later on in the season, because Clippers, it seemed like the Clippers figuring things out with James Harden. I think that think he done accept his bench role with the Clippers now. The Mavericks, only problem I got with the Mavericks is they have a good offense, but they have trouble defending on the other side of the floor. So I'm still a little bit iffy on the Dallas Mavericks. The Sacramento Kings, they a young upcoming squad. So we see what they did last year with the Golden State Warriors. Took them to 7 games. They should have won the 7th game last year over the Warriors, but that's nor here nor there. So I expect the Kings to come up in the standings in the Western Conference. They at 6 right now. At the end of the season, I expect them to be at least 4, 5, maybe even 3. Who knows? Maybe even 3. The next team I want to talk about is the Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets, another young upcoming team. I like what I'm seeing from Ime Udoka. He is really pushing those guys and making the Rockets, teaching them how to win games. Now, I think that they'll make the playoffs. Now, as of right now, they are the team in the 8th spot. If the playoffs start today, they would be in the play-in tournament. So the Rockets, sky's the limit for them. If they keep this up, they'll be in the playoffs. The next team I want to talk about is the New Orleans Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans, they've always had a good team, but it only comes down to one player, Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson, we like seeing him on the floor. It's a matter of him staying on the floor. He should not be wore out at the end of an NBA game at all. But you have to take into question, what is he doing off the court? Is he putting himself in the gym, keeping himself in the gym, staying active, eating the right stuff, getting the right nutrition from whatever food he eating? I believe that if Zion Williamson gets on a nutrition agenda, nutrition calendar, and maintain a good playing weight, he'll be able to put the Pelicans on his back, and they'll be in the Western Conference Finals, just like and playing the Denver Nuggets, if they can do that. But as of right now, they up and down. Zion Williamson, he is up and down. He can't last a full quarter without coming out of the game for a breather. Now, I don't mind him coming out the game for just a 3-4 minute rest, but we can't have you walking up and down the field just seem like you just struggling to run. Zion Williamson can't have that. So Zion Williamson, he need to get better as far as his health kit and nutrition wise. The next team I want to talk about is the Los Angeles Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers, they ain't looking too hot. After the in-season tournament, they've only won 1 game out of their last 6. I believe that the Lakers, they need to go out and get them a scorer, preferably Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. Jeanie Buss, I'm giving you options. I'm giving you ideas of who you should pick up because he's had a shooting slump. D'Angelo Russell has had a shooting slump. The Lakers' whole bench has had a shooting slump. And if you're trying to make the playoffs, you can't be having game after game after game, shooting slump after shooting slump. Y'all get what I'm saying? So you can't have that. So Jeanie Buss, you need to make that call to whatever team, whoever team that'll ship 2, 3 of those players off and get you a legitimate score, because you need help from your bench. The bench is one of the worst in the NBA. They only average 23 points a game. Plus, you got LeBron basically carrying the Lakers right now. So, and he's about to turn 39 tomorrow. So, you are going to have a better bench coming into the season, coming in later on into the season. So, that's all I have for the Lakers. The last two teams I want to talk about is the Golden State Warriors and Phoenix Suns. The Golden State Warriors, they are up and down right now. They 500, 15-15. What have they done? Their top scorer is only Steph Curry. Draymond Green, we already know that he in his little world with as far as psychologically helping out his psychologic agenda and stuff and all that. Klay Thompson, he wants a new contract. Klay Thompson, I'm going to tell y'all what he has put out the last 5 games. Okay, the last 5 games, he's put out 23 points, 21 points, 16 points, 11 points, and 11 points. He hasn't cracked 30 points. He's only cracked 30 points once this season. So, the Warriors, they are they got some tough sledding to do. Do they need to make a trade in order to make a playoff push? Who knows? But it is not looking good for the Warriors right now at this day and time. And the last team I want to talk about is the Phoenix Suns. Bradley Beal is out for the season. Kevin Durant, somebody needs to take control of this team, because is Kevin Durant going to take control of the team or Devin Booker? Now, I'm not asking that question of who team it is. I'm just saying who can make those buckets in the last, who can make those shots in the last 2-3 minutes of a game when you need it. Now, you got 2 legitimate scorers, use them right. And the Phoenix Suns bench is the worst bench in the NBA. So y'all already know how I feel about the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns ain't making it to the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to say that again. The Phoenix Suns are not making it to the Western Conference Finals because they don't have a bench. They can't defend the basket well versus opponents. And when it comes to the last few minutes of a game, they just go scoreless. They can't put up any points in the last 2 or 3 minutes of a game. And that's what's going to hurt them in the long run. And with that, that is my NBA talk video for the 5th week of the season. Please like, comment, share. That is my NBA talk video for the month of December. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and remember, the key is always on time.